Hello and welcome to episode 17 of our Timberborn Update 6 Apocalypse Mode playthrough with the Iron Teeth here in Cycle 13, Day 10. Right at the start of a bad tide. Got about 38 days left of that one, and in terms of, just general well-being, we're doing okay. I'm not talking about the score, that's still pretty bad, but the situation for the beavers is acceptable, I guess we'll say. We did a lot of stuff the past couple episodes to try and organize things a little bit. There's still a lot more to get done. But we do finally have large warehouses for corn rations, and we're starting the process of condensing some stuff around here. And of course, we do have our District 7, quote-unquote, up here, that's still attempting to get something accomplished. May or may not end up being an actual viable separate district anytime soon, but we're going to try to keep it alive as best we can. We do have the ability to make additional food here. I just don't have enough beavers in here, so we are going to have to fix that. We did finally build a district crossing, which is nice that we have that. And we have a ton of water. Well, literally many hundreds or thousands of tons of water, if we're going to be specific about it. But I digress. We got tons here. And we only have storage for about 12,000 across the entire map, but we're going to need to continue increasing that, and hopefully, within the next couple of episodes, have enough stored to last a 100-day drought without pumping anything else. But that's going to take some time. So other stuff that we have to try and figure out is this whole flooding thing here. There's a whole bunch of speculation, a whole bunch of different ideas, a bunch of different chastisements of my decisions in doing this that you guys have left in the comments. But I think overall the best thing we can do is continue blasting this out so it's completely level, regardless of corners, regardless of whatever, and let this try to get calmed down, so to speak, because this right here, this is fine. It's very close to the maximum height, but it's fine. This is fine. And then right here, this is actually backed up. This is closed. Actually, all of these should be closed. Let's just double check. Yeah, see, that's closed, and then that's closed. It is, unfortunately, leaking into here just by virtue of it overflowing. But a couple of you thought that maybe, over time, this would be okay just as it is. And that this would slowly work its way back into the channel, and we would see what would happen there. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far, but at the very least, this is not as contaminated as it possibly could be. And over the next 38 days, we're definitely going to have the opportunity to just kind of evaporate all of this, while also pumping out a bunch of bad water. We take a look at this sluice here, and this still says 0% contamination. This one still says 0%, so it's not so contaminated that it's actually spread all the way up here. But we've had this on triple speed for most of a day, and this hasn't really gone down. It's just continued, surging over this mess here, which is not great, not fantastic. But we do have this dynamite to blow up, and I know that's going to send a little bit of it over the edge there, but, it's fine. It really doesn't matter. We're not going to be pumping out of this, so we've got some time to let that go away. We got this guy here. Well, at some point, it'll be possible to get bad water taken care of. So these guys are starting to fill these storages because, hey, wait, hold on. Did it fix itself? Is it actually fixed? Oh wow, that's a development. So if it was actually good the whole time, then you know what? We're in business, folks. We're in business. We just have to continue doing a little bit more here with that, but honestly, I feel like that is a tremendous development. So in light of how this is looking now, when there's no contamination over here at all, I'm just going to keep this paused so we can be a little bit more judicious with our beaver resources. But trying to play on 2 times speed for more of this episode than just either turbo speed or no speed. Our main focus today is to increase population, because we have to have beavers up here. And we have the food and water to take care of that. It's not going to be a problem. We need to increase operational efficiency. and think about maybe getting some of these water pumps moved up here to where they're going to be directly into this reservoir instead of down here. I don't know. I'm not firmly wedded to that idea, but there's many things we could do better. And yes, the beard wheel probably does need to go and get replaced with an engine. We do have just about enough materials to build this. We just need a few more of the metal blocks. So I'm going to turn those guys on, turn the explosives factories off, and we're going to continue the process of doing what we want to be doing here. Of course, we need to do breeding pods. Once we have the centrifuge actually up and running, and we've been pausing so many different things trying to get different resources to put everywhere else. Like, it's a whole thing. I know some of you really hate that, but that's fine. We're doing our best with what we got. That's the only thing we can do. I just need to find other places to put these breeding pods. And I don't want to put them up here in District 7. I think this should be adults only, and this could be... because this is the most stable district. We just want to make good use of what we've got access to. So if I don't really have a great place to put any more of these, unfortunately. With the exception of, I don't know, maybe right here. I'm just trying to find somewhere to put these things. We do have 4 contaminated beavers. They are living up here in District 7, which we do still need to rename. And unfortunately, we don't have decontamination pod for them yet because, well, not only do we not have the decontamination pod, we don't even have the centrifuge that's making the stuff for the decontamination pods. We just need to keep that paused pretty much this entire time. And one of the unfortunate things that we've done up here is we have left this water pump on, so a lot of this farmland is not arable anymore. But I'm going to go ahead and pause that. We do have 100-ish water, and we can import it. We just have to have more beavers available to work it. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to plant, just for right now, I'm going to plant some kohlrabies instead of corn here, and I'm going to unpause this farmhouse and just start planting some food that the beavers can actually eat. Because this district is relying currently entirely on imports, which is not really sustainable. I want to make sure that we're doing something, anything that we can be doing. Hey, guess what? The almighty number cruncher is finished, but it can't have power yet because this centrifuge isn't, and we need another 19 metal blocks for that. So yes, it's, you know, it's one of those things. Just takes time. Just takes time. These guys, bless their hearts, can only output 314 HP, and these two combined need 400, so yes, it is going to be necessary for us to get rid of this and replace it with an engine. The only problem is, I think my metal keeps going different places. Yeah, I've got one of those here. Well, but I need to make sure I have 21 in this district. Okay, I've got 20. Well, as long as I can actually build this, I feel like I kind of need to have more than 20 in storage, because as soon as I get rid of this, there's no power for these things, and we're not making any more metal blocks. And that's not a fun thing to try and solve without the ability to actually affect change in that. So we got one more of those. This one's just about ready to go, and then, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Pause those two, get this engine in place, and that will allow us to run either these two, or how much power do these things use? I really should know this. These two plus a little bit extra. But for right now, we just need to be making more metal, and it needs to be faster. This is the best way to do that. Long term, probably not. But for where we are now, this is absolutely the most important thing. Now, this hasn't backed up again, has it? Good. That is such a relief. I was very worried that this was going to be a permanent problem. We just have to, you know, suck it up and deal with after a certain amount of time. But so that's at 4% contamination. So it is kind of spreading, equalizing out. That's at 2%. I think over time, as long as this isn't actually seeping out, which it shouldn't be. This is closed. These all really should be closed, and that is closed. That is closed. Forgive me for not trusting these. It's just the way that it goes, man. Just the way that it goes. So now this is open. I'm going to just go ahead and say it's closed. We're going to have to remember that we set this to manually closed. I don't want any more nasty to get brought in here. Because we did put a little bit in the last episode, and that's not really what we're going for. It looks like the engine's just about ready to go. Just have to have somebody finish the construction wherever the builders happen to be at this exact point in time. And looks like we have an unemployed beaver. We really should have more than a couple, but get these guys going back in here. Prioritized by haulers. Should be good. We have all these trees here that do need to be cut down, so I'm going to unpause that lumberjack. And then I think... well, okay, well, this is fine here, but... Actually, you know what? Since we have the number cruncher, even though it's not finished, I feel like we can pretty safely go ahead and just completely get rid of these inventor huts. These beavers have so many other things to do that would be just vastly better uses of their time. Like, for example, making metal blocks, or cutting down trees, or, well, anything, really. So, population continues to increase a little bit. I've got 3 beavers that don't have anything to do, so I am going to start slowly increasing the population here. Let's go up to 9 beavers, and that is going to allow us to hopefully, go ahead and put another one in the district crossing. I'm just going to leave the one in there for now. Do I have, how many in here? 2? Okay, that's fine. I'd like to avoid pumping out any more water here because this is going to evaporate and a lot of these crops are going to dry out. But if we can at least have some that are available to work with here, then that would be ideal. We do have 600 corn here that can be processed. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn this food factory on just so that can be going. This lumber mill does not need to be running. We can leave that alone. Because now this guy just needs metal blocks. And we do have this underground ruin right here, but it's currently bad tided. So if we feel like waiting another 45 plus days, then yeah, we could just let it dry out after we get a drought in the next cycle, which we do not know is going to happen. Or we can start making an effort to get this whole thing completely cordoned off. And while that will take a lot of effort, I do think it's worth doing eventually. Just because I know they can't actually reach this, we can feel pretty safe putting this stuff in like so. Easiest thing to do, least amount of wood, is going to be to just do one of these numbers here. That will get it better than going down one more there. Just pop this in. We'll put platforms around the outside, and that'll give us space to put the mine in the middle. A little bit of space around the outside that we can't really do too much with, but, you know, it'll end up looking fine. Or if we really want to just say, you know what, no more nonsense, we'll just put it right here, and then just have straight lines. Honestly, that's probably the better option anyway. Just so we don't have to have as many things in the corners, but I will, ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and say this needs to be 3 tall. That's going to be the easy way to do it. Reminder that they cannot reach this right now, so it doesn't matter that this is a tremendous quantity of wood that will have to be utilized. But yeah, I think for better or for worse, this is just going to have to be how it is. So once that's put in place, we will need one more on top. And that will be badwater proof. But again, that's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of stuff to build. But we can kind of help it along, you know, like we normally do with just taking things one step at a time. I do like the idea of having the beavers firmly above all of this nonsense just by leaving that as it is. And I'm not going to put a ladder down there because I do not want the beavers to all become contaminated immediately. And we'll just go ahead and get that set up. They do have enough planks and logs in this district as it stands. Well, okay, maybe not logs, but there's still trees that can be cut down. if we want to get creative with getting on top of things. But they do still have enough to start the process of building this. We have 14 metal blocks. We do need to have this centrifuge operating probably sooner rather than later, so I guess I can unpause construction on this. But we still don't have enough materials to really make this work. And since this is a separate district, I can unpause this barracks so that even the infected beavers can have somewhere to sleep. And I believe we are probably okay to just leave this alone for a while. The water is a little bit of a concern, but we probably honestly just need to have a small tank right here or some water storage set to supply, and then the rest of these really need to be replaced by some medium tanks, but for the time being our gear production isn't quite adequate for that. Just let those guys do what they are going to do. It is astounding to me that this actually works. It's pretty cool. So that's up to 4% now. What's this say? 6%. Alright, is it going to be worth running that there, or should I build another one over here? I probably, honestly, should have one right here, because this is where most of the concentration is. 32 days is not going to be enough to have this completely evaporate. But if we do pump out some of the bad water, I really should have that thing over here. Do I have the materials? Yeah, I do. It's just not going to be a super popular thing, I don't think. Well, I can put these paths back in place at the very least, because now there's no danger in anybody getting infected with anything. We'll just go ahead and make that all marked for cutting. Put a couple of these lumberjacks in there. And it looks like we got some more beavers who aren't doing anything because our population is slowly increasing. So yes, that does mean I'm going to put another 3 beavers over here in District 7. And now we have 12 adults who are not infected. So we should be able to get a pretty decent handle on a lot of this stuff just as soon as we're going to be able to. Go ahead and put in 1 more beaver there, and then I think I'll get myself another hauler, and then after that, probably don't need to have anybody in this forester because there's no more land left to plant for trees. Take them out of that, and then I can have, if I can remember where I was going to put this guy, I guess I can just pop in another lumberjack flag, probably right about here. There are still several trees to cut down, so we will let them do that. There are still some trees over here, so I guess might as well just, have this ready to go. Do what you can with what you got. Look at them. They're already building the platforms up here. I know it's going to be the suboptimal build order or whatever with this, but honestly, I think it's going to be fine. How are we looking on this? Oh, okay, not that great. We know there's 17 metal blocks, but that's fine. Got these guys cutting these trees down. I do want to put, I guess, right here is accessible enough for it to make sense. I am going to end up just flushing this when this bad tide ends. Probably not happening this episode, but just to keep you guys informed and to keep myself informed of what I'd like to do. Sometimes, it's very, very, very easy to forget all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, our situation with water storage is looking really, really good. Long term, I do want to move this stuff up here, if at all possible. I just really like the idea of having a tremendous quantity of water storage available. So these guys, well, that's already empty. That's already empty. That's already empty. These little storages of corn need to be replaced with larger storages. But I'd probably rather build water storage before I build any more of these large warehouses. Just because, well, again, it's just smart. Just smart to have more water storage. So we'll see what we can get done. This corn is empty, so I think what I want to do is just go ahead and get rid of that because it's empty, and then we can start emptying this guy out. Start emptying that guy out. Oh, this guy's almost completely empty. Yeah, let's get rid of all these medium tanks here. Put those haulers to work. Transfer all of our materials. because I would much rather start putting more large tanks right here, super easy to get to. Nice big storages. And then when we do, in fact, start moving industry up here, then we can think about exactly what we want to be doing. I do think for the size of the colony that we have, and probably going to continue to have, this amount of tree farming is probably okay. So I'm not tempted to turn this into anything. Like I said earlier in the playthrough that I might want to. I don't think it's necessary right now. So that's done. I got all these extra beavers. Oh yeah, we got so much extra power. Let's turn those food factories on. Get as much corn produced as we can, because that's going to help empty these, and then I can start putting other stuff other places. I think that's going to make the most sense. Yeah, get this definitely emptied. Should just be planks on the ground. Yep, there we go. Looking okay. And this guy doesn't have anything going into it because we don't have any beavers pumping, so I guess it's probably not a bad idea, honestly, to have a couple pumps operating so we can continue to draw this down, because it's going to evaporate no matter what, so we can either pump it or we can have it sit there and look nice, which, you know, sometimes that's nice, but you got to be able to keep your beavers alive. Yeah, as I kind of suspected, the water import isn't cutting the mustard here. So, we're going to be having some problems here, folks, because I've got to keep my beavers alive, but this is going to kill the crops. So I think before we get too far, we are going to want to put some irrigation in. But for right now, I think this is fine. This is going to evaporate anyway. We might as well just pump it out. Just make it work with what we got. Wow, we put a whole 2 metal blocks in the last time we messed with this. Well, good stuff, good stuff. You know, actually, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a water storage right here either. Even just a small one would be something that would make sense. Just set that to obtain. All right, that's empty. That going. This should, provided these things, you know, actually produce at a quick enough pace, should get that emptied soon. We still have extra capacity, so I don't need to build any more water storage yet, but the time will be coming very quickly when that will be necessary. And this log storage here might need to go away, because I would like to have these things just right across from each other. We could have a path go behind it to put some other stuff on the edge here, like maybe relocate our builders' huts. Even though we have the 50% penalty for removing items, I don't think it's going to matter at this point. We've done a pretty decent job so far. Got log storage here. I guess I probably should set this to obtain. I don't know, we might be asking too much of our haulers at this point, but they're probably fine. They're probably doing okay. So it says it's going to take us 11 days to fill up our corn rations with what we're doing down here. And I guess that's probably fine. I really need to replace these with sluices. That's what I need to do. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do that, because I know that's going to be a thing that people keep asking me to do until I actually do it. So it's probably almost impossible for this to become contaminated, but I am going to just in case, set that, and then I will close that above downstream depth of, well, I guess 0.5 is fine. Because I just want that to be automated so I don't have to worry about it. This floodgate, same kind of deal. Although, honestly, the way this is set up now, I can't foresee a scenario, unless it's like really, really just the end times for this playthrough, where we even need these in play. Okay, with this I will keep, but you know what? We're going to be bold. We're going to choose to be bold here, and we're just going to completely combine all of these mangrove areas. Yeah, because now, like, look, we can replant all these mangrove trees. They're not marked for cutting. Get these guys in here doing the most. And then Gather Flag can handle all that very easily. Very easily, so that's going to be nice. Small steps, folks. Yes, we're not really going to have to worry about that. Just get our population up. Continue the process of poisoning this whole mess here. And once we have the resources, again, come in through here and detonate another bit of a channel here. Although, if this currently is fine as it is, then we probably don't need to mess with it. Just a thought. Yeah, they're gonna take their sweet time doing that. As soon as this space is available, I am going to put that bad water pump there. This is, I think, mixed enough now where this is worth turning back on, even if it's very slow. Because every little bit that we take out matters. As long as we don't pump the clean water, if we only pump the bad water, then this will be very, very diluted by the time we get back. And that's 9%. I really should put a stream gauge in here, but I think we should focus on some other stuff for the time being. Things are humming quite nicely along, though. And it does look like water is improving, food is improving. We do have, looks like, completely full storage of corn rations. Really? Huh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to swap this over to corn ration storage. Just so I don't have to build anything more storage-wise up here for the time being. I do think it is probably better to have this just operating, even though we're currently growing corn, currently doing what we can. It's still going to take a little bit of time for that to be something we can actually use. 9 more metal blocks here. They are starting the process of putting levees in, which is nice. Again, this is going to be at a constant height until it's completely enclosed, no matter when we do it. So this is fine to just let this be a construction project for them right now. No amount of pumping here is going to change any of that. Eventually, I probably would like to have this fully separated as well. But again, I think this, strategically speaking, is going to be a little bit more important to get done. And you can see as this water level starts going down, these crops become less and less viable here. So we'll keep it going until we can't really do anything else, but fully expect by the time this bad tide is over for all of these to be just turbo dead until we can put in, that's not even a word, whatever, until we can put in some sort of irrigation and have it actually make sense, because we have to have a more stable water supply. And yes, I can hear you guys in the comments already firing up those keyboards. Why don't you just put a water pump over here so it can go down into this reservoir? And yes, we should. We should do that. But I don't want to start messing with that until these levees are finished, ready to go. So that's probably something that we should do before we do this. But, you know, the water situation is always going to be okay for this guy because we can just import it from the other district. This is a nice thing to have once we have all of our clean water coming through so we can actually fill this up to the correct height. But it's not, strictly speaking, completely necessary. We also really need to, at some point, get down in here and completely fix all of this mess. But we're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Yeah, these are already drying out. Already drying out. Are we going to get any of these oaks before this is completely dried out? See, I don't know that that's going to be the case. So if I pause this now, I got 67. Okay, that's good for like 2 days, but if we can get these guys to, you know, do what they're supposed to be doing by bringing water over, then we might be in okay shape. How are we looking here? 22 corn left. Okay, I've got metal blocks continually being made. This sluice gate is in place, so that's good. We've got some more of these trees replanted. Yeah, hey, making good progress. Making very good progress. Just got to take it one step at a time. One step at a time. How are we doing over here? Good. Good. Progress is being made. We do have water here as a, well, water. And I guess corn rations, if I prioritize, then these guys can have a drink and a snack ready to go. How's the pumping happening here? Okay, very slow, but it is happening. It is happening. Every little bit that we can do with this is going to be a nice thing for us. We also need to think about maybe turning this into its own district up here. I don't think we have the means for it right now, but eventually, yes, would be a very good third district. And depending on how we wanted to do things, we could probably even put another one up here. But for the time being, I'm still pretty firmly in, let's just get a whole bunch of water mode. Reminder that we do still have plenty of other stuff to get done that isn't necessarily going to be glamorous or anything, but, you know, just keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. Okay, still working on that stuff. Still working on this stuff. Decent progress, but again, this is the most important thing. And I guess they're just waiting on the metal blocks. As slow of a process as that is. But then the number cruncher can get going, and we won't ever have to worry about science ever again. Until we get to bots, which probably not happening anytime soon, but it is what it is. Most of these trees have been cut down that are actually accessible. And I guess, since all these crops are dead anyway, I can go ahead and put a staircase here. And that'll allow us to get up to this area. Cut these trees down, and then I do think I want to blow this down flat. Kind of like we did in the water beaver playthrough, because this is going to be really good farming space. Especially once we put in the irrigation barriers along this mess. I probably am going to want to straighten this out. But we're thinking so far ahead in the future at this point that it's kind of almost pointless. But, you know, it never hurts to dream. Most of the time. Just go ahead and get these marked. They're going to take their time doing that. And let's come back over here. Is this empty yet? It is. Alright, so that can go away. And corn ration storage there. This, I guess, can be swapped over to just corn storage. This guy can be emptied. And then I can start building another tank up here. Even though we don't need it yet. We're going to want it. We're going to want it. And that's, like I said earlier, the most important storage that we can do in this playthrough is for water. And if we have a ton of water, then we're set. We're good to go. Forever and ever and ever. I know you guys want to see, definitely want to see this thing go on endlessly. That's what everybody wants. We'll go ahead and just start the process of building that. We have just about all the metal blocks. We do have all the gears. We do have all the planks. And then once we're a little bit more situated on food stuff, it looks like this is just about full of corn rations. And I know we still have some corn in the ground. I know we should probably still be building additional storage for that. But I do want to pull a couple of these beavers out of food production and put them on pumping, because we absolutely need to keep doing that. So, that's not the P key. I'm going to pause 2 food factories and unpause 2 of the pumps. It does still say we have 4 vacancies, but I think it's fine because we're just pulling them out of the builders' huts. And honestly, I think it's important enough for us to have water pumped. I can just go ahead and completely do that. Cool. Nice progress there. And hey, look, we've got a spot for a bad water pump. So if that goes, there's a tree. Okay, I see how it is. Well, it's a deep subject. We're gonna have to get a little creative here. I completely forgot about the trees. So this guy up here is still going to reach all the way down, more or less, to where we want it to go. And just going to be a little bit of a shortcut to get into that. But that is going to be our next important thing to do. And, you know, cutting the trees down here is good as well. Because this might be a decent place to do some crop farming at some point. Or maybe trees, if we decide we want to try to exploit the clean cycles and the droughts and just take a big gamble on it. But, you know, long enough timeline, that'll happen. We just need to have a little bit of patience with that. Alright, so again, we have 10 vacancies, but don't worry, that's 8 of those are the builder's hut, and, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't take them out of the hauling post, so let's go ahead and deprioritize that builder's hut instead. There we go, that fills that all the way up, and now we have some beavers actually pumping, so we should see our water get refilled. They're bringing in the materials for that, and that's looking pretty good. Yeah, all about long-term stability, folks. Contaminated beavers I guess, technically, now that we have the centrifuge, we probably should have them build this decontamination pod. So, yeah, metal blocks coming in will take care of that. And we don't have any bad water. We do have some extract, but I'm pretty sure the decontamination pod requires, what, 10? No, actually, it should work with as few as 1 extract. So I guess we could just kind of let that be what it's going to be. Go ahead and turn on a bad water pump and move one of them out of the centrifuge so we can at least have that going for us. Slowly making progress. Oh, this guy can reach all of these trees up here. That's good news. Very good news. We'll be one step closer to getting everything obliterated down to the correct height here. Yeah, once this is all demolished down, I think a water thing right about here would make the most sense, because that's going to cover just about all this farm, most of this area, and then we can put in irrigation barriers over here when we get to that point. But yeah, now it's all about just, finishing the stuff that we said we were going to do the last time, and just making stuff work how it's supposed to work. Water storage overall doesn't seem to be going up, but it's also not going down, so I'm hopeful that means these guys pumping are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We have this... no, they haven't even started on that. I guess that's okay. Alright, Josh G, where are you at? Let's see, when you get into this pump, are you actually pumping anything? Or your talent's going to be better served somewhere else? Okay, I mean, it's definitely slow, but you're pumping out the poison, so keep at it. Keep at it. Yeah, they're still taking care of these logs here, which is fine. At some point, we're going to have this built. But again, we have 25 days left of this thing. We're probably okay. Metal continues to be metalled. We are continuing to get all of this scrap metal out, which is wonderful, because then we can start using this land for other stuff too, like housing would be really good up on these cliffs, I'm pretty sure. Trying to keep most of the irrigable land usable for, well, farming-related purposes. We've got a lot of canola, and we can't really do anything else with the canola except mess with the cassavas, which for right now aren't being harvested because we only have this one farmhouse going. So, at risk of maybe, not being the smartest thing that we've ever done, I do think I'm going to go ahead and build fermenter. Ah, see, that's not gonna work. Not gonna cut the mustard because of the way the power stuff goes. I was thinking, oh, I'll just do this and then I'll do this. Like, well, no, that's not really how that works. You gotta pick one and you gotta stick with it. Unless I were to do one of these kind of numbers, which honestly probably should have done in the first place anyway. Yeah, because I want to have cassavas here, because we are, actually growing some. And then I think we probably should just start growing the rest of these crops. Soybeans. Starting, at least, with those guys. And then eggplants as well, because those could be done in there. And I think, honestly, for where we are right now, this should be enough. And I haven't decided if I want to put another campfire right here. I know that's probably not the best spot for it, but I will leave that space undone. This farmhouse, and I guess technically this guy for a little bit of it, but this farmhouse is going to have to be turned on, and I'm going to pause this farmhouse. I know that's going to exclude some of the crops over here, but I would like them to start pulling down these soybeans and then start planting these other crops here so we can diversify a little bit. That's going to be one of the easiest ways for us to get our well-being up without building other stuff that we don't necessarily want or need to build at this exact time. Okay, we got this finished. Very good, very good. So as soon as we have enough to make another one of these large tanks, then we will put that in place. That was the wrong button to press. What else is new? Have we made progress on this yet? Well, they've started building this thing. They just don't have the means to access it, but they are working on it. The very, very, very slow pumping is continuing. What's our concentration looking like? 9%. Okay, well, I know there's not more water going into it. It's just kind of making its way around. But yeah, any amount that we can lower this before the end of the bad tide is definitely going to be good. Yeah, see, here we go. We're actually growing some stuff. That's exciting. So sometime soon they should start building these things. I know we don't have storage for the actual crops for these things. But we'll get there. We'll get there in due time. Just going to take a little bit. Yeah, I think population-wise, we definitely want to keep adding if we can. I just don't know where else to put any more of these things here. All these little tiny storages probably need to be replaced with something else when we get there, but for right now, I think we can just kind of leave it alone. But one more breeding pod here. Oh, I forgot we had the little primitive Torrigate here. You know what? We probably... Ooh, yeah, we could put this iron one up. It's only 5 iron. Where would that fit and not be completely stupid? Well, I could just go right across the path here, but that's kind of nah. Now, if I put it here, it will still hit all of the, it will still hit all of this other stuff. What a concept, huh? Just jam this thing wherever it's going to fit. But, yeah. It's fine. We want to get some better stuff going for these guys anyway. Just simple things that we can continue, I guess, kind of working on. As soon as we get the rest of these materials, then we're going to be good to go. But for right now, rooftop terrace, we're going to have to find somewhere to put one of those. I'm not really got any good ideas for that at this exact moment in time, so for lack of a better thing to put over here, I guess campfire's going to make the most sense. I'll just go ahead and put one extra campfire here before we get too comfortable with ourselves. So we are fermenting cassavas. I don't have any storage for those, like I said. That's probably... Do we have enough gears? Do we have enough gears to build another one of these? Oh, these don't take gears at all. Oh, that was dumb. Well... we haven't filled up our water storage anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to build another large warehouse, and I suppose if we're actually growing cassava, we probably should have storage for it. Probably should have storage for it. I don't know if I need 1,200, but I mean, that's what I got access to at the very least. Yeah, I can always change it. Who cares? That's fine. Just let them do what they gotta do. Hey, we're pumping. Very nice. Very nice. That's gonna help us out a whole lot. I unfortunately don't have a storage for bad water over here, so what I will go ahead and do, let's just pop that guy right there. Set that to supply. How are we looking here? Yep, still pumping. Very, very slow, but that's, I think, something worth doing. Yeah, see, look at all our crops in here just dried out entirely. Well, it's the way it goes. Now there's really no point to not having this running, at the very least. So I'll get those going. They still haven't finished this? Come on, man. We only have 2 contaminated beavers left. It's going to be like all for naught at this point. So we got 32 bad water. I actually have a decent bit of bad water in here now. I just don't have anywhere to put extracts. So it's actually kind of a pointless thing to be running any of these. We'll just kind of let it be what it's going to be. Nothing for our friend Mark to do up here. It seems like. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. And I know we do have some dynamite somewhere, not in here, but I do want to start the process of getting this stuff removed so we can, hopefully, at some point before the end of this bad tide, actually have irrigation set up here. And what other trees can be removed. I think there's still a couple. Still a couple. I know we're using most of the logs to build this mess. And then they have actually... Yeah, they've actually taken care of that. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and put those two in, so at the very least this will be completely separated here. And that's going to be good. Because then at that point we can think about redoing this, even though we probably don't need to worry about it. Probably don't need to worry about it. Oh man, see this was at 71%. It's going to be dried out, but farmhouse can get paused. Got a little bit of kohlrabies. I'm not going to be worried about those guys. We do have 386 corn rations, which is going to be fine. Bigger problem is water, but like I said, that can just be imported. It's not that big of a deal. Just have to have the haulers taking care of whatever they have to take care of. Yes, we haven't really done anything with the cassava. Either that or they've just been eating all of it, which I guess was always allowed. But we've got soybean about 28-30% complete. We've got eggplant approaching 20%. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap this over to eggplant rations. I know we don't have a squelcher yet, because I know people love when I make up names for stuff. We don't have one of those presses yet, but I'm not entirely sure where it would make the most sense to put one. Probably for the sake of our current industrial layout, it's going to make the most sense. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. It's going to make the most sense to put that thing probably right about here. It really doesn't matter, honestly. It's fine. We don't need to have these barracks over here, I can tell you that much for sure. So we probably want to stack this again here. Just do what we can. Get that brought up, because then I put that guy up there, and I can get rid of both of these. And then this is a little bit more usable space for us. But we definitely need to start making some actual canola oil before we get too far along and actually need to start using the stuff. Yeah, so definitely eggplant rations. In another couple of days, we'll set one of these over for, what do you call it? Soybean. That's always a smart choice. Water continues to go up slightly. Still looking kind of okay here. Oh, you know what? We need to make a storage for explosives. That's right. I had one, I think, and then I didn't have one. So, you know, just to make it easier for everybody else, I'll just put that little storage there. Get that popped in place. And then I suppose... Yeah, I don't really have a better way to get up than to just put in a ladder here. But we definitely want to get these trees as well. And then we want to be able to explode everything, as one does. Oh, I've got an extra beaver. Well, in that case, I guess I probably... How many haulers do I have? I have 2. I probably should have a 3rd hauler, would be more beneficial. Moving stuff out of the district crossing, assuming that is actually what they do. How are things progressing here? I'm still not seeing any cassava actually being consumed. I will start taking a little bit of the corn away, just a little bit. We still have absolute, just ridiculous quantities of corn. We're going to need to have enough of different things being grown to actually be useful. So just keep an eye on that. Like, I know they have to be eating it, because it's being made and then it immediately disappears. They're just letting them do what they want to do, I guess. Oh, hey, if this is connected, then we don't need this fluid dump. But I feel like it's going to be very easy to say, oh, well, we can just get rid of this, and then at some point during a 100-day drought, we're really going to wish we had it to keep crops alive. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think this amount of water we have stored now, if it's only lost, what, 2 or 3, maybe 2.5 blocks of height, if that, in the past 15 days, including pumping, we're probably looking okay. And I see it looks like a little bit of contamination here. Because I know we did have a tiny bit of contamination in this before. Yeah, that does still say 1%, so part of me wonders if it wouldn't be worth, once the water's back, opening this floodgate and just kind of flushing it a little bit. Yeah, because you can kind of see that hint there of that little pinkish thing. And I did notice that these they're not unwatered, but they're getting slightly lighter color. Maybe just something to keep an eye on. Maybe just a little bit. Alright, so the pumping is still happening here. This is no longer able to tell me what the contamination level is. This still says 10% though, so rest assured this is still a problem. Still a problem. Like if we really wanted to, we could come through here and blast this channel out a whole lot deeper and have some sort of emergency release. That probably would be smart. But I don't know if it's going to be that big of a problem now that we have this probably solved. All right, there's more trees that can get cut down here, so let's go ahead and let them take care of that. Once that's all done, we'll move them somewhere else. But so far, I think we've been doing pretty good. Pretty good. We got all these oak trees we haven't cut down at all. So you know there's still something we could be doing. I really would like to have more beavers pumping. But I know every additional beaver that I get is another mouth I have to feed. So then that becomes a little bit of a challenge. We're still looking okay here? Yeah, I guess we are. So, alright. I think most of the wood that we're making in this district is going to building this thing here, which, yeah, okay, it's important, but... oh wait, this isn't connected at all. They're no longer doing that. They're just storing the planks and stuff. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's just get that connected. They do need to be working on that. Dynamite. I'm going to put this on triple speed because I feel like now we're stable enough where that's a viable thing for us to be doing. Yeah, and then we're just going to start blowing this up because before we're finished with this episode, I would like to have irrigation back up here. We're just going to need to have a little bit more robust of a water supply before we really fully commit to all that. It looks like he's reached just about all the trees he can. There are still a few. If I were able to get those situated there. Yeah, I think we're looking okay. He can't reach these guys, so I'm going to have to move. I suppose. Well, these crops are already dead anyway, so who cares? Is that going to be... There we go. That'll work. We'll just get rid of that guy. Because we really, really, really need to get this taken care of. And I probably, honestly, should have had another storage over here for some extract. Don't want to use gears or planks if I can avoid it. Let's put one of those in there, and then put one of those in there, just to make sure that's viable thing. See, all these like tanks and stuff, these don't need to be here. This is bad water at the very least, so we can do something about that, but those are not going to need to be set up for obtain or supply or any of that garbage. They're there. This one for extract should be supply. This one should be obtained for bad water. And then I think that's probably about all we can really realistically expect from that. Looking okay there. Looking okay here. We do, in fact, have canola oil, but we don't have soybeans yet. And we don't have eggplant. So, this guy here, I know we probably should just be building medium tanks, but because it's already here, I'll just go ahead and I'll make this storage for canola oil so these guys can keep going. This did get put in. Now I got 23 extra beavers. Go ahead and get rid of that barracks there. Now we got some extra space back here. Should we choose to use it? And then might as well, while we're on the subject, is just do this. Just keep putting more and more of these up here. Wow, they can't reach this. Of course not. Somebody forgot to put platforms in. Wonder who that was. Oh, that's looking good. Water continues to go up. I've got an unemployed beaver. No, that's in the other district. Okay. Oh, this is finally done. So somebody can come and take a load off in here. Where's my infected beavers? I know we got infected beavers. Where are you? Come lay in the goo. It's good for you. There you go. Good job. Who's that? Life. Wow, what a tremendous juxtaposition of reality in the beaver game. when life gets you contaminated, just go lay in the green goop. It's going to be okay. Sage advice. We gotta get the... oh man, I can't endorse laying in random green goop. I just can't do it. I wonder what the texture of this is, though. Is it like a... Is it like a Jello? Is it like that Nickelodeon slime? Or is it just green water? But it's got bubbles. So is it like a... Oh, man. You remember Surge? Norwegians out there, apparently you still have it under the name Urge. But for a while, a couple of years back, maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, Coca-Cola in the U.S. brought back the Surge drink. It was at Burger King or something for a little bit of time. But I don't know, that's just... I see that colored green, and Surge, I know, wasn't really that green. It was closer to like a yellow-green, whatever. But that's just like the first thing I think of. I don't know. They had, after Surge, it was what, Vault? That lasted a couple of years, and they're like, yeah, forget it. We can't beat Mountain Dew. It's over. And then they, I think they put all their money in the Mellow Yellow bandwagon. Why do we have so many people that are thirsty, exhausted, whatever? We got tons of stuff. We're actually looking really good. All right, 98 on the soybeans. I'm going to go ahead and swap this one over to fermented soybeans. And hopefully, before too long, we'll have a little bit more in the food variety category. Yeah, so there we go. We got some soybeans coming up. Got to get those harvested. And then get more cassavas planted down here. And before too long, we should be able to have another one of these farmhouses operating. Ideally. So these guys don't really have a very good reach on this side because of all this stuff in the middle. And at some point is going to go away, but right now is not. Yeah, so look at all this contaminated looking water over here. You can't see it in this mess, but it's definitely there. How are we looking here? Come on, click, 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 click. Thank you. Still 10%, huh? Well, we're pumping, and it's evaporating, so that's something at least. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of those. Those beavers can go back to do what they want to do. Still have full hauling post. We got builders. We don't really need too much going on with those guys. So I guess I'll just turn all these pumps back on. And yeah, there you go. Just trying to fill up all of the water. Continue doing what we can do. And this is ready for fermented cassava. Not that we're ever going to be able to fill it up, but, you know, good emergency food. I guess if I were maybe a little bit more intelligent with this, I'd just go ahead and just go ahead and say, you know what, it's going to be corn rashes. It's fine. We take a look at the math on this. Soybeans, it's like a little bit more than tripling. And then the food factory, you have the eggplant, you get 6 times as much. So I'm going to go ahead and say, sorry, fermented cassava, this is eggplant territory. I know these haven't grown yet, but going to be a much more valuable food for the beavers. For sure. So we'll just, I mean, obviously we're going to keep building these. I just have to have the materials to do it. And it looks like I do. Yeah, okay. So, you know what? Let's just go for Broek here. And just build ourselves a couple more of these. And, yeah, eggplant in the middle. And then maybe on top of that we can put the fermented cassava, and then we can have fermented soybeans. I don't think the capacity to actually fill these up exists quite yet. But, you know, no sense, you know, not doing it. Let's go ahead and get this farmhouse going here. get this corn harvested, even though it's looking pretty full as is now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say these gears need to go somewhere else. And I'm going to remove this medium warehouse, and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees and build another large warehouse here. Which does mean that this one is going to go away so they don't accidentally build it. I don't think I have anywhere else to put any gears right now. Probably not. Well, I don't think we need to really worry about it so much. That plank storage is empty. I can't swap that over anyway. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to wait. There's no reason to do that. We'll just, well, we're doing something. That's what the idea is here. And then I will go ahead and put in a ladder so that we can continue stacking these things. And this obviously should be just raw corn storage. Makes the most sense. Just let them do what they're going to do. That's eggplant rations. That's fermented cassava. Everything's accessible. We should have, hopefully, at some point, somebody gets these soybeans out of here. I guess I've got to jumpstart that by just telling these farmers just to only go focus on the soybeans. Supplement all of this stuff. Hey, our water's all the way up to almost 10,000, which is great. Going to be building another one of these tanks pretty soon. And probably need to end this episode here in a little bit. We're about an hour right now. Still pumping away gleefully, it seems. Still 10% contamination. I actually don't know if it's because we're pumping out the bad water at the same rate that everything is evaporating. So the actual, well, no, if that's what was happening, then the percentage overall of bad water would actually be probably decreasing, because we're only pumping out bad water, but everything is evaporating, whatever the mixture is. I don't know. Let me know if you heard this one before. I'm bad at math, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, these are both unable to reach any more water, it looks like. Yeah, okay, so that's going to give us 2 more jobs back, and these guys are out. They are OUT out of water. So let's take this off at triple speed here, and let's take a moment to reassign. I'm going to reassign 2 more beavers to this district crossing, because we need to start importing more water. We do have some here, but yeah, this is where this is going to get to be a little bit possibly dicey here. Well, there's not really much else we can do. Let's just check our well-being. We do have a couple that are kind of thirsty, but we're not in panic mode yet. So back to turbo we go. Okay, we do have some fermented soybeans. Not going to really last that long, but... Hey, we got the eggplant coming in. All right. Cool, cool, cool. You know what? You know what? There's no reason that we can't put a farmhouse here and take some of the burden off of these other guys. I think that would be smart. I'm just going to go ahead and do that and take this farmhouse away. I think they should be able to handle pretty much all of that. Regular corn there. That's going to give us a couple more squares of corn, and by a couple I mean 4, because that's definitely what that means. And yeah, see, these guys are going to be able to take care of that a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier. Population continues to go up, and then things are hopefully going to be looking pretty good. I do think we can go ahead and end maybe famous last words. Maybe. But I think we can go ahead and get through most of the rest of this bad tide here. I don't want to have these be too terribly long, but I feel like we made some pretty good progress today. And I would like to take advantage of that as much as I can. Get this corn out of here. There's no reason to be storing corn up here. Especially now that we have this guy down here. Like, it's nice to have stuff get more organized. More condensed where it needs to go. That's always nice. Always good. And we're pumping. We're continuing to pump. This is looking good. This is still fine here. Absolutely no problems. Okay, this guy looks like he is empty. And that guy's empty too. And I've got enough to go ahead and build another large tank. So you know what that means. It's time to build another large tank. Wow, that was an incredibly stupid way of saying that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of this berry storage as well. Remember that when we originally built this, all of these were going to be emergency storages, and now we're past the point of doing that. If we run out of stuff now, then the playthrough's just over. That's just what it is. We've gone on long enough. They should be able to get this built pretty quickly here. I believe that strongly to be the case. Yeah, and then we're gonna be in really good shape, folks. We're gonna have almost 12,000, maybe almost 13,000 water stored up before the next good tide goes. Provided, of course, that these guys don't completely run out of water, because you know that's always a possibility. Is there anything else I can pause to get these guys doing literally anything else? It seems like, you know, they're using the wood like they're supposed to be using the wood. They're building this up, and this is very important. But it's gonna take some time. Now, food-wise, what do we have up here? We have 446. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pause this food factory. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in another hauler here, because like we got enough food. We got enough food for a while for 13 beavers. It's gonna be fine. I really want them to put in more dynamite, but I think the issue might be that we don't have dynamite, because guess what? I've got these things paused. So, yeah. Wonder how that happened, huh? What a concept. What a concept. I am going to pause that one smelter, because we're doing okay on metal for right now. I just want to make sure they can build this, and hey, that's just about done. Nice. That's looking good. Don't think we have enough. We almost have enough to make another large tank. So, you know, I probably should be doing that. Probably should go ahead and build another one of those. Just so we have that much more ready to go when we get to that point. Things still looking good. Still pumping out water. We've still got a little bit of space here to grow some more cassava. We want to really go all in on that. Eggplant-wise, oh, I've got this paused. Okay, well, that was a dumb mistake. Well, that could have gone a whole lot better, but now we can actually, you know, have some of this stuff after talking about, oh yeah, we definitely have to have this at all times. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Don't do that. Does this still say 10%? No, it's down to 9. Okay. Well, I don't think at this point it's going to be possible for us to get all of this completely removed. But I feel like I really need to try and get another exit blasted out of here. But I don't think it's going to be possible. I don't think it's going to really be worth it, to be perfectly honest with you. Like now that this looks like it's perfectly fine, you know the amount of liquid put out doesn't actually change. That's not real. But I feel like I would love to be able to just store more stuff in here. There's just so much bad water, and there's no exit until it gets to this height. There's not really any better way to do it. So it is what it is. At some point in the future, probably would not be a bad choice to do a deep mechanical pump, because we can have this only take out bad water. And we can have it just discharge straight over the side. That's probably, honestly, going to be the best thing for us to do. Once we have that all figured out, I'll probably just put it like right here or something. But I'm not willing to go ahead and remove this wall yet. I don't think that's necessary. I just hope that these guys can get some more pumping going on and reduce this contamination, because it is going to get diluted, and we are going to have some of the nasty water just stay here. But one of the things that we do need to do is we need to, well, first of all, we need to be very careful about how we go about doing this, but we need to put a sluice here. That's going to be set to close once the contamination gets below, say, 2%. And that needs to be in place. In fact, I'm just gonna double stack these. There's no reason not to. Just copy our settings here. Let's close below contamination 2%. Because I don't want all of our clean water to go away once this happens. Once we have, you know, the next cycle start. And when these are open, the game treats them like there's nothing there. So it's not going to cause backup problems. It's just going to become one of those things where we have to make sure stuff is balanced. Like this opens... I have that stupid ladder there. This is set to close above contamination 2%. So are the rest of them. So maybe... well, if it's equal at 2, then it should be fine. It should be okay. Should being the operative term. 9% there. I know it's higher than 9% up here. It has to be. Or maybe not. Maybe I should just, you know, stop worrying about it. Just let it happen. Okay, we have... How do I have 3 beavers who are unwell? There's no reason they should be getting contaminated. Are they doing a stupid over here? Are they doing a stupid when I explicitly told them not to? Like, there's no reason why they should be unwell. There's no reason to go down in the bad water. So how are they getting contaminated? How are they doing that? Well, the world may never know. I don't think there's any reason for them to be going anywhere over here, really. Just using all of our wood. Huh. Well, what I was going to say is that these beavers contaminated, and they're getting a little thirsty, and I don't think we've really, we've not really helped our cause here. Is that this district has an extra beaver? Okay. Alright, so that's there. Well, I need these guys to bring water up here. They're busy doing all sorts of other stuff. I think I'm going to have to add additional beavers to the district crossing. See if that helps them out at all, because these guys get dry, then they're going to die. That one was free. That we, man, I really wanted to take care of this too, but I feel like that's going to have to wait until the next clean cycle. And only 5 days. Only 5 days. We're not too far off. Because I got to send somebody down here to get rid of that block. And honestly, I don't think we need to have this loose here. Well, maybe we do. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I know everything there is to know about doing stuff in here, and then I am immediately humbled. Immediately. And just, like, excruciatingly, painfully humbled by this game. Well, at least we have, we got a decontamination pod. No more trees to cut down? Alright, well, we're gonna pause this. Gonna pause that. I really wanted this to be finished. But these guys can't seem to do anything quickly to save their lives. I know this is very important for this to get done, but it shouldn't come at the expense of other construction projects. So I am going to... No, that didn't work. I am going to deprioritize all of this stuff so they can focus on making the dynamite, because, you know, that's kind of the whole thing I wanted to have set up before the end of this one, but, you know, it might not end up mattering because we don't really have enough water in here. Oh boy, it's always something, huh? Well, our well-being is up to a tremendous 9, which, hey, better than 8. Oh, nope, it's back to 8. But food is slowly expanding. Water-wise, yeah, we got a full capacity of about 14.3. This looks like it just got finished. So that's going to be helpful. Everybody's pumping. And now we have almost 100 beavers. Started out at about 70 this episode. So, you know, we're making good strides. Yes, we are going to consume additional water with about 100 beavers, but the capacity for getting this stuff figured out, set up more storages, more efficient stuff, it just is really, really important to get done. So that's very exciting stuff. And I probably should build some more pumps somewhere, but for right now, I think we're doing it just fine. Look, hey, this is already actually getting pretty low. What's our contamination looking like? Come on. One of these, there we go. Still 9%. Alright, well, it is what it is. This one is finished, and it is open. This one is just about done. Just needs one more metal block, and it should be ready to go. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, we did our best. We did our best. And remember, this much water is only about 2 blocks deep, and most of it, it's 3 blocks deep, a little bit down here. But by the time this fills completely full of clean water, then the total pollution in this should dilute substantially. It should be about, what, 2-3%? And honestly, that's enough for me to just kind of run it through here. Because we already have a little bit of pollution here, and it hasn't affected anything bad at all. So no issues there. Although I am very curious how these beavers continue getting contaminated. Is it because they're... Ah! Okay, so this is contaminated enough? Really? It's contaminated enough to get a beaver sick? Well, I mean, it says 1% contamination, so I guess it was always possible, but, tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and open this. We're just gonna flush that out. Let this, drain a little bit, because, you know, we only have 2.5 days of the drought left. Bad tide. Good water drought, still a bad tide, same kind of thing. Let's just flush all that nasty out of there. So I don't think there's really any bad water left in here. Hardly any bad water left at all. Yeah, we'll just let that be what it's gotta be. Alright, so I'm gonna set this back to 0.95, and we're gonna do our end of episode spiel while we wait for everything to get better here. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys sticking with this series. I know it's frustrating. I feel like I just said it every episode for the past like 2 weeks with this, but it really is not possible for me to do this without your support. And yes, that includes you who are giving the constructive feedback. Hopefully constructive. But I feel like we've made a lot of great strides the last couple episodes, and we are really making a lot of positive changes that are going to make things more efficient and better overall as we continue moving forward with our beavers. All that being said, you know, beard boosters, if I already didn't say it, I actually can't remember if I didn't say it already or not. Can't do it without you. Directly subsidizing the insanity of the channel. And yes, these videos have been doing extremely well the past 3, 4, 5 weeks since we started doing both this series and the Ember Pelt stuff. But as you know, in January, February, YouTube ad spending goes down. So even though the videos are performing tremendously well, the other metrics, like how much money I make off of this, have decreased a little bit per video, per view. But that's okay, because I get the support of people who want to see the channel succeed without bringing in stupid advertisements that nobody ever wants to see. And I don't really care to have in my videos either. So you folks are directly supporting the channel, making it possible to keep making videos, because my computer hardware is on its way out, as you've seen in the videos that have the weird artifacting going on. Yeah, there's multiple components of my computer that are failing, and I got to replace them. So as soon as I get this next month worth of YouTube money coming in, within the next couple of days, I'm going to order parts. And then we'll see if I can either make a video or maybe do a stream putting parts together. Might be kind of fun. But yeah, you guys are the ones that make that stuff possible, making sure that it doesn't turn into, oh, well, my computer broke, that's it. Instead, oh, hey, people are making sure that I can continue doing this, so now I can buy stuff to replace broken components. And that's always fun. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Words cannot possibly communicate it effectively enough. But you stuck by me when things were bad, and you're still here, so that means a whole lot to me. And we're just about finished with Cycle 13 here. Got about half a day, and then we'll be in the beginning of Cycle 14, where everything is nice and peachy clean, and that's where we're going to start the next episode. So whatever it is you do with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.